Often, when we think about humility, we think about it as the opposite of pride. However, I think that the opposite of pride is actually shame. And the problem with pride and shame is that they are both inwardly focused, they're both self centered. And humility is outside of pride and shame entirely. It's not necessarily the opposite, but it is unconcerned with the self. And so rather than it being opposite, it's just entirely unconcerned about the self. And so we see that in Jesus, he's not proud or ashamed. He is just him. He is entirely himself. And that is what we are supposed to be. We're supposed to be image bearers of God. We're supposed to just live unconcerned about how we are seen in the view of others. And that's what pride and shame often are a result of. We're concerned about what other people think of us. We're concerned about our value, our identity. We're concerned about protecting ourselves. And that will often stem from pride or shame. But humility is the antidote to these things. When we are truly humble, we're not concerned about whether or not our identity is going to be affected by our behavior, or whether someone is going to take our authority or our power away from us. We just are self-giving. And that is the nature of Christ. There's this Greek word, kenosis, which basically means to pour out. And it's the word that Paul uses to describe Jesus in Philippians 2, that Jesus gave of himself. And this is described as humility. It is his humble nature. And if we think about ourselves as self-giving people, that's truly what humility looks like, that we give whatever we can. It doesn't mean we're going to lose, because what we get is from God and he has infinite supply. So we may run out of energy, we may run out of resources, but all that is a redirection of whatever we're giving. So we may not be able to give endless money or endless time or endless energy, but we can give of ourselves, whatever state we're in, we can give of ourselves to others. That may be just simply being present with somebody. We may not be able to give them much, but we can just be there with them. And it often makes me wonder, this whole idea, this whole paradigm of pride, shame, humility, what it means for people who don't have much to give at all. And often what that might mean is that they offer themselves. It's just their presence, just whatever little they have. They don't give it away, but they bring it to the relationship. They bring whatever they have to the relationship. So this is something that's hard to get our heads around. And that's why I'm working on these books, Humble Power kind of trilogy. I think I'm calling it like the Humble Way. And there's 3 books. Humble Self, or the Humble Life is sort of a working title for one of them. And then Humble Power is sort of the centerpiece of the trilogy. And then there's one that is about communal humility called Humble Church. And what I'm working on is bringing this idea of giving, self-giving love and sacrifice with a posture of humility. And I'm trying to frame it for individuals, for leaders, for communities, so that we understand what we have to offer people and how we can offer that with humility, and how we can work against the abuse of power through pride and shame. And that's all it really is. We don't need to deny power, we don't need to reject power, but we do need to channel power through humility in the way of Jesus.